One of the much anticipated mysteries in the Lord of the Rings prequel series was the identity of the Dark Lord. Now, the identity of Sauron in Rings of Power is out in the open, but before this became known, what characters did fans speculate was Sauron, aka the Dark Lord? Stay tuned as we explore likely characters, and hold on to your pants for number 1, because it actually turned out to be true. First up at number 10, The Stranger. The Stranger was a potential candidate right from the start. The way he fell from up above in a flaming meteorite kinda made fans think he was the one. That event kind of looked like the Eye of Sauron when it opened up. Plus, there's just something about this character that screams enigma and danger. He didn't help matters as well when he admitted that he was indeed a dangerous being. Fun fact, this was not the only fan theory that surfaced regarding this character. The other theory was that he was Gandalf. The creative team of the series is not helping in any way, as the character's affinity to nature and deep affiliation with the Harfoots really makes him a fitting candidate for the famed wizard's past. However, considering the fact that he is wanted by the trio of cruel-looking hooded figures, or should we refer to them as cultists, it seems like he might actually not be Gandalf. Who knows? He might be. Whichever way, it seems like he might be some sort of wizard, now that we're sure that he's not the Dark Lord. Now at number 9, the Ascetic. Being a member of the hooded trio places the Ascetic on the list, but she's not really high because as mysterious and evil as she might seem, she hasn't really done much to make a strong candidate. With the hooded trio seeking out the Stranger, it kind of displaced their standing as Sauron in disguise. Fans assumed the Stranger was the Dark Lord they were seeking, and although the trio did burn the Harfoot's carriages, technically, the Ascetic can't fully be blamed for that incident because she didn't do the burning. And at number 8, Waldreg. Right from the very start, Waldreg wasn't really liked, and it almost seemed like the character was created to draw in a lot of hate. At that point, when he was given the opportunity to join Adar, it was really evident that he was the sort of person to eagerly seek out power and darkness, making him a suitable candidate for Sauron, but he isn't really high up on the list. Why so? Although he fits into the Sauron criteria, the mystery is killed off if he was actually Sauron. It would be a very obvious disguise seeing how dedicated Waldreg is to the dark cause. However, now that we're sure that he can't wind up being the Dark Lord, a loyal follower position would be a perfect fit for him. At number 7, the Nomad. The Nomad is just as mysterious as the rest of the hooded figures, and unlike the Ascetic, she isn't really active. She's mostly occupied with wandering Middle-earth in search of the Stranger. If the Nomad had turned out to be the Dark Lord, it wouldn't be more of a surprise because we know the Dark Lord is someone who loves to chill behind while he manipulates others to fulfill his wishes and might just be waiting for the right time to attack with his full power. Taking a closer look at the character's outfit really reinforced this notion. Her helmet does look like it took some careful forging, and we do know the Dark Lord is a master of some sort at forging. Now at number 6, Bronwyn is a character that has persevered from time to time, enduring when others around her have perished. Although not so obvious, that seems like a red flag on its own. She really does seem like a hero as well, but appearances can be deceiving. Before the identity of Sauron got revealed, there was a high chance that she might have ended up being him, considering how Sauron loves to keep beautiful and fair guises. Number 5, Kemen. Kemen, son of Pharazôn, might play a small role, but his role is quite important. He was a strong candidate right before the identity of the Dark Lord got out in the open. Why was Kemen suspected? As the son of Pharazôn, he had access to the high powers, and if he had turned out to be Sauron, it would be quite understandable. Plus, it would be no surprise if it turned out that he manipulated his father to commit all those atrocities as he showed his manipulative side for all to see when he tried to push Eärien away from her father. Next at number 4, Eärien. Just like Kemen, Eärien is also an original character of the series, and she's also suspected at some point of being the Dark Lord. The fact that she doesn't appear in The Lord of the Rings really seems suspicious, plus her character is some sort of mystery. She was mainly suspected because it was quite possible for the Dark Lord to have planted himself right in the core of the most powerful families, just waiting to strike. Now, sitting at number 3, the Dweller. The last of the hooded trio is just as suspicious as the Nomad and the Ascetic, if not more. She's very quiet and rarely participates in any action, hence leaving viewers unsure as to how to process the character. Aesthetically, she looks more like Sauron than the other two. In fact, in the trailers, viewers actually believed she was the Dark Lord. There's just something about the way she looks that spells doom. No doubt, she is bad news. We saw how she burned down the Harfoot encampment. She legit froze the fire that was directed at them and reignited it to destroy the Harfoot encampment. This might be really bad, bad, but the vibes around the character announce more devastating chaos in the future. And at number 2, Adar. Adar is another interesting character that could have turned out to be Sauron. Why was he suspected? Adar had a lot to say about himself and about Sauron, but that just made him all the more suspicious. He could have been lying about being one of the first Uruks, the former elves who were not clean and ended up being deformed by the tortures of Morgoth, and about killing Sauron as well. I mean, what better way to throw this scent off than claiming to be dead when you're indeed the Dark Lord? Plus, Adar gives off the vibes of someone who wants absolute power, which kind of matches the energy of Sauron, who wanted to make the world revolve around him. Lastly, at number 1, Halbrand. This is one of the fan theories that actually came true. Fans believed the tortured king of the Southlands was indeed Sauron, and he turned out to be just that. This must be bad news for Galadriel because she was the same one who led him to the Southlands and the creation of Mordor after her long-running quest to end him. He was really suspicious because he was involved in the mysterious shipwreck at sea that didn't seem to affect him much, but all his companions lost their lives to a giant monster worm. And he quickly got over this and easily turned up the violence after robbing the craftsman. This might seem suspicious, but the events of episode 6 really made a lot of viewers start to point fingers in his direction. At the point when he confronted Adar, the Uruk insisted that he didn't know him at all. The vibe in that scene was sus and started to raise questions. The manner in which Halbrand even answered Bronwyn's question was not in any way normal and just raised suspicion further. His bad temper didn't help matters either, as he had one fitting for the Dark Lord. When he got involved in a brawl with the men from Numenor, he pretty much left them in terrible shape. His excessive interest in Numenor's forge made him very sus. We all know the Dark Lord has a thing for forging. At the point when he was chumming up to Celebrimbor, he was really making it too obvious, and thankfully Galadriel didn't ignore this red flag. Upon confrontation, Halbrand maintained his charm and charisma, didn't even try to hide it, and in the most charming way possible offered her a throne as his queen in his quest to restore Middle-earth. Was this offer unreasonable? Not really. Considering the sexual tension between the duo since the beginning, it really seemed logical that he would still want her by his side as he continues on his journey to quote-unquote save Middle-earth. And if you've watched the episode, you know Galadriel rejected his offer, and in response, Halbrand, aka Sauron, enchanted her to facilitate his escape. And that concludes this video. So how will this revelation set the course for the second season? It seems we'll just have to find out. Kindly give this video a thumbs up and ring the bell by the side to get notified when updates drop. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye!